Hi, everyone. Welcome to Sudbury Interviews. Today we have a returning guest. He is the founder of SudburyEvents.com here in Sudbury, and today we will be talking about this community project. Before we begin, you can find us on Sudstown and join the conversation. Welcome, Dani Starr.
Jana, how you doing?
Hey, Dani, what's up?
Not too much. I'm happy to hear from you. Our
Good to
first
hear from you.
interview was a couple of months ago, I think, in the summertime of last year, 2025.
Yes, that's right.
So, what's kicking?
Oh, busy, busy. What about with you?
Keeping busy, having fun, doing fantastic overall for sure. Yeah,
Oh, that's great to hear. All right. Well, let's dive right in and talk about how Sudbury events began. I'm excited to hear.
yeah. Okay, well, it's a good story. It's going to be 9 years on the 22nd. In 10 days from now, it's going to be 9 years. January 22nd, I think, of 2017. So what happened was I was with my girlfriend, and we were sitting in a bathtub, one of these like old style antique bathtubs, separated. It's off the wall, like it's separated off the wall, and it's like high and big, and you could put like a lot of water in there. So we were sitting in there, me and my girlfriend, and we were like sipping on a beer. And I think she said, "Where are you guys playing? Where are you playing like this weekend?" And she said, "Where's everybody playing music like this weekend?" And I said, "Well, I don't know. Like when you go on the internet, you have to check a bunch of different places to find out." And she said, "Yeah, like wouldn't that be cool to have like a website or something where everything is all in one place, like all the bands of everybody that's playing,
Right.
like across Sudbury."
Yeah.
And then we decided that that was a good idea, basically. And at that point, I already owned a domain name that was called livemusicsudbury.com because I was using it to promote myself as a musician for the last 15 years or so. I already owned that name. The domain is like the website address that you type in when you want to
Right.
go. So livemusicsudbury.com, I already had it. And I was thinking that I could use that. So after her and I, we got we got out of the bathtub, and the next day or the day after, like within 2 days, I was working on this project, and I was putting up like the first version of the platform back then, and it was very very different than what it looks like now. It's gone through like a million different evolutions. It seems to me, because it's been almost 9 years, and something in 9 years, things can change quite a bit. Like you look at a baby when they're zero and to the point when they're nine. I see this project sort of like a child, because it was birthed in water. Like children are created in water, like in the womb. And
Mm-hmm.
this idea came about when we were sitting in the bathtub, and so it was pretty easy to find out who was playing everywhere. I already knew, like, because I played in all of these places myself, and I just mean like the public venues that have live music weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. And I put it together, and I showed it to a couple of people, and every single person I showed it to said that's a really good idea. Like everybody agreed that it was a really good idea. And within about 2 to 4 weeks after I put it together, I started realizing, because originally it was just for me and my friends, like my musician friends, just to promote our gigs and to let people know like where we're playing. But I soon figured out that it had to be like a lot more than that. Like it just couldn't just be music because we wanted to include people wanted to include they would send me emails like, can we put this on or this on, and like some family stuff or um, community events and whatever. And then I kind of had the feeling that the scope of it had to be bigger than just music. So then I needed to find another name for it, right? Because at that point it was just livemusicsudbury.com.
Hmm.
And my first idea was sudburyevents.com. And when I went and looked at that domain name, it was already registered to somebody else
Oh, okay.
since 2007, because it shows you online. You can find out when a name was registered.
Hmm.
So that one was registered in 2007. It had been registered for 10 years already at that point by somebody else. And so I couldn't get that. So I just added the word calendar at the end of it, which really is too long, but I needed something. So I put SudburyEventsCalendar.com. That's what it was for the first 2.5 years.
Oh, wow.
The website, yeah. And I knew that it was too long, but I couldn't think of another name at the time. And the one I really wanted was already taken. But a couple of years later, in August of 2019, that name suddenly, like surprisingly, became available. The
Wow.
SudburyEvents.com became available, and this is really like a wild story because I was laying in bed one night and I used to check it a lot. I would check it probably daily because when a website domain name goes into redemption, when it expires, there's a 3-month redemption period where the register person can redeem it. He can make the payment on it and can like keep it basically.
Right.
So when it went into redemption in May, and I knew that it was in redemption, so I knew that 3 months from that point, if the person didn't renew it, it would be available publicly again. So I was like checking it every day, basically, and then this one, and this one night, it was about like 10:30. I like sprung out of bed, like you see in TV shows, like back straight up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, I gotta go check it right now!" And I ran to my computer and I checked it, and it was available for like
What?
$12.
Wow, that's
$12.
amazing.
Yeah, $12 annually, but now it's like 25. But at that time, it was so I bought it like right on the spot, and I
Yeah, no
couldn't
doubt.
believe it. I was so excited. It was unreal, because
That's
at that
great.
point it had been registered for 12 and a half years. Like
Oof, that's a
somebody
long
owned
time.
it for that long,
Yeah.
and it was really like one of those things where you can't really explain how it all came together. You try to, but you just know that there's like I don't know, like a little bit of a miracle aspect to it.
Yeah, and then one day you finally realize that it's all yours.
Yeah, and we're talking about a piece of like virtual real estate,
Yeah, that's
basically.
amazing.
Like I don't like the .net domains. I don't like .org. The .org's pretty good too, but I don't like .net. I could have got SudburyEvents.net. I didn't want it. I wanted .com for sure
Right.
because that's the first one that comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so I picked it up, and there was a lot of work because I had to transfer everything over, blah blah blah, right to the new one, and my yeah. Um, so 2.5 years as SudburyEventsCalendar.com, and since then, it's been SudburyEvents.com, and I just call it Sudbury Events. Now I'm looking at the traffic numbers right now, and as of right now, there's 209,000 active users.
On the
On
site.
Yeah, on the site. Like not today, right now, but like ongoing.
Right. Well, that's
So
great.
it's very, very well used. In the beginning, like people weren't able to publish their own events. I was doing everything myself,
Hmm.
and then a close friend of mine who's very successful in business, he recommended that I build in the ability for the public to post their own events,
Right.
and and I said, well, I think Rob, I should do that. Like that's a really good idea, and I had to figure out how to do it. So now you can put on repeating events. You can have an event go for 3 years, like weekly, monthly, daily, twice a week, twice a month, whatever the occurrence is. You can set it all up. Anybody can do that, unlimited. And there's thousands of events on there. It's yeah, it's I just love it. Like I said, I can't consider it to be like one of my children. It's a good project. It brings people together. It makes information accessible.
Well, that's great because that was my next question. I was going to ask you why this initiative is important to you.
Oh yeah, well, I really believe in community
Yeah.
as a whole, and I think we need to come together more and just celebrate life itself. And there's a lot of reasons. Really, it's why it's important to me. It's
Hmm.
not just important to me; it's important to all of us to
Hmm.
have like resources and to make information accessible to the public. Um,
Yeah. Accessibility is very important in a community for sure.
yeah, and I just like the colors in the logo, and it makes me happy.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, the logo was a fluke too. I don't design, like I'm not a graphic designer at all. I'm useless with that. But there was 6 letters in the word events, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put a color on each one, and that's what I did. And the colors represent the 6 categories. So the green is obviously food, the blue is music, the red is for kids and family, and etc. So that was the first version of it came in 2017 September. I remember the dates for some reason of this stuff, but it was like a peace sign. People would remember this if they saw it. It was like a peace sign with the word events under it with 6 different colors.
Hmm.
So yeah, but now I kind of revamped it a couple times. And yeah, it's a good project. It's a long term thing. I work on it almost daily. Sometimes I work on it for hours and hours in a day, and other times I take a break. A week, 2 weeks, a month, even. So it just depends on how I'm feeling and what needs to be done on it. Because we have to
Right.
make a living too, and this is like it's just like a volunteer thing project. I'm not paid for it directly. I try to sell some advertising on there, but you know,
So, if somebody wanted to contact you and they wanted to promote their event, they call you directly, they email you.
yeah, yeah. Like I do a lot of that. Like featured, we have featured events where they get like super awesome visibility on every page in the sidebar and on the front page banner. So we do a lot of that. I work with community groups and even sponsor events, meaning I'll promote it at no charge, but they'll give me a logo or something on their website, or they'll put my logo on the graphic, the image of the event, the posters or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of thing. So helping out the community as well. Um, what was I going to say now? Yeah, it's come a long way, since it began. And there's this website online. It's called the Wayback Machine,
Yeah.
and it's like an archive for the internet. If you go to Wayback Machine, if you type that into Google or whatever, it'll show you a website, and you can actually go back in time and look at how websites used to look like a long time ago. And sometimes I go back and I look at SudburyEventsCalendar.com and LiveMusicSudbury.com. They're like the first versions, and I'm just like, whoa. It looks, because at the time I thought it looked amazing, and now I look back at it and I go like, wow, that's awful. Like
Well, it's
it
not.
was terrible.
It's evolved.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna have to go check that out.
Yeah, the Wayback Machine. It's wow. I mean, I go back. I remember, there's one thing about this project. It really, really excites me, and it energizes me, and
Yeah.
it makes me feel really happy to help out. And you're putting you're putting all of this information in the palm of people's hand. Because people have a phone in their hand, and they got to go to this one place, and you find like all the bands that are playing. If everybody posts everything on there, and there's like a ton of food deals on there. It's just a bunch of information that is right there in the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and it's
It's
right there, right in one spot, easily accessible. It's great. It's amazing.
Yeah, I always look forward to trying to make it better. But like I started building websites out of necessity in 2007 when right after I finished college, because I went to college for business and marketing, and I
Right.
graduated from that. And then, but I hadn't built any websites, and I was a musician full time for a long time, and I needed a website to promote my music. So I had to learn how to do it. Back then, in my early 20s, I was probably one of the first local musicians to have a website for myself. And nobody really had any in the back then. It was very rare, and it was a long process that I would want anybody to have to go through from scratch, because it's not exactly easy to figure out. Like, I didn't even know what a domain name was, like, in the beginning, and I didn't know anything, and it was really, really hard and long. And this project here has taken me a long way too, because I didn't know how to use Photoshop. I still really don't know how to use it that well, but I can get like the job done with it. I can make images and stuff, but I'm not a designer. I don't
Right.
design, like, I'm terrible at that. It's not my skill set. I'm more like marketing, advertising, and with a specialty in digital marketing, even for businesses, because the site has a business ads section where local businesses can advertise on there, and I build them a nice like go getter page and stuff. So
So do they contact you directly, or they can go to the site and they can create um their event themselves?
if they want to, people post events on there.
Hmm.
Yeah, well, there's hundreds and hundreds of registered um, members, like people who post events on there. Because you gotta click on free account,
Right.
and then you make an account. All it takes is your email address and a username. You pick a username, and then the site automatically sends you an email to confirm that you're legitimate, like you're not a robot.
Right.
So then you click the link in the email, and then you make a password, and you log in, and then you can publish as many events as you want to.
That's great.
Yeah, a lot of people do it. Like hundreds and hundreds of people do it already, um, every day. people are posting their events on there, and I post a lot of them as well. And I started making videos like 2 weeks ago about this, showing people how to post events and the benefit of doing it, etc. So I just started making videos to just to make it, if because some people are not really um, computer oriented, or they're not very like agile with websites and stuff like that. Like
Mhm.
they're kind of skeptical about it, and I want to just facilitate that for people who want to who have something that's they want to promote, and there would be a lot of value to the community by having that information accessible. You know, so I make like a video and just show them how easy it is, because it just takes like 3 minutes. Like
Yeah.
yeah, I made a video that shows I made an event for 3 years, twice a week for 3 years, and it took me like 3 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And it goes on for 3 years, yeah. And I showed like I did like screenshots. I was recording the screen while I made that video. So just educating people. It's a very powerful tool because it publishes directly to the internet, the World Wide Web, and it goes on Google and like all the search engines, you know, and it's searchable. Like, if you have an event that's going on, like spaghetti dinner at the church down the road or anything, everything is worth putting on there. Even if you're having a yard sale, like anything, you can put anything on there and tell people
That's
about it.
that's a really good idea, the yard sale, because I know that sometimes at my work, like I know that there's been people who've been looking for yard sales and it's almost next to impossible to find them online. So that is a really good
Mm-hmm.
idea.
Yeah, yard sales, community barbecue, fundraiser. Because, like, on the front page of the site, SudburyEvents.com, there's a calendar. Like, all of these events go into one giant calendar for the whole city. And if you go to the homepage, there's a view. If you change the view to calendar, it's actually a calendar. You could skip forward months and years in advance and see what's all there. So it's kind of like a Walmart for events. I used to describe it that way in the beginning, and it's one giant calendar for the whole city, and that
That's a,
includes surrounding areas as well, like Onaping Falls, Cape Breton. It was like 100 kilometers from downtown Sudbury. It goes out into the other areas too. Like people from the island, they post on it when they have
mhm.
festivals in the summertime, and out in Warren they got festivals. They post, like, so other areas a little further away use it as well.
And that's great because then you can plan in advance, add it to your calendar on your phone or wherever, and you'll know help you become more involved in the community. I love that.
Yeah, well, to answer your earlier question, why I do this, I really believe that we have an obligation to share what's good in us with others,
I agree.
and we all have to just pitch in somehow, and everybody does what they can. Like, they don't do a miracle, you just do what you can, and it's like we're all part of a giant puzzle, and everybody has one little piece of the puzzle, and we have to put it together as a community, as a world, as a country, as a province, as the whole world. Everybody has a different piece of the puzzle, and we have to share that somehow. We have to do our part, right?
Wow. I love that perspective.
Yeah. So we're at the 25-minute mark.
We are at the 25-minute mark, which means that we have reached the daily segment. So, Dani, my question to you is what is one thing you feel would make Sudbury greater?
Wow. That is a really good question. Hmm. What greater? Well, like being like an old fashioned type of person, although I have a cell phone, I have two cell phones actually, because I have one for work, and I have a computer, a desktop, and I have a big, huge office desk, which I absolutely love. But I also love horses, and I love horse and buggy. So I would think, something that would make Sudbury greater is if you could take like a cab ride, but it's not a cab, it's actually like a horse and carriage ride. But it's like if they had horses available like every day that you can call them and say, okay, instead of like Uber or U Ride or whatever,
Hmm.
the horse comes and picks you up with the carriage, like in the olden days.
Oh, wow.
And you get a taxi ride in the horse with the horse and carriage down the streets. Like I want to go downtown because we're going to party tonight. Show up in a horse and carriage, he drop you off. You know.
Wow, that is old school, but I like it. I think that that would be refreshing, actually.
Yeah, and I've thought about like going from downtown to Bell Park, like just having a horse and carriage, and like say for tourists or for local people, like just go to Bell Park and there's like a shuttle service, but it's a horse and carriage instead of a bus. I just think there's something really organic about horses. I love horses. I don't own horses because I don't know how to take care of them, but I just
Mm.
love the spirit of the animal. And they're so
Wow.
powerful and strong. And you know when you have a car, like it's like a 10, 20, 100 horsepower car,
Hmm.
when that car is like going super fast up the hill, it means it would take 100 horses to pull your car up the hill that fast.
Well, you never know.
Or
Maybe one day that horse and carriage idea will come to life.
maybe.
Well, we've reached that time. Is there anything else, Danny, you would like to add?
Um, I just want to say that I really believe in the community, and I think we're doing really well generally, and everybody's doing their part. We're helping out, it's a lot of fun to live here. There's a lot to do. I know more than anyone because I run SudburyEvents.com and I see everything that's going on, and so there is a lot to do, and you know we gotta get out there more and find horses to go ride around with, and
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, I've heard that before. I've heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's Sudbury. I don't know what to do." Well, go to SudburyEvents.com and you'll find a lot of things to do.
yeah, good.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for your time and for your work in building this project. It's amazing. And I hope to talk to you really soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jana. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.